As a group of book lovers, we wanted to investigate different models of bookstores and what their futures hold. So we took our query to the heart of DC. Capitol Hill Books and Sankofa are two of the few remaining independent bookstores in the US today. We sat down with the managers of both stores to see how they're similar and where they differ. Capitol Hill Books is a used bookstore located in the neighborhood of Eastern Market, but it's been a staple of the community for decades. Its popularity is due to its chaotic yet cozy atmosphere and the lovable sarcasm of its longtime owner.
Hi, welcome.
I haven't seen you for a while.
Well, I haven't seen you either for a long time.
But I was here,
You were here.
and you weren't here.
I sold this dump.
I know that.
Yeah,
It's all over the newspapers.
it sure as hell was, wasn't it?
Right.
But what am I doing back? That's because I'm filling in for about 16 hours a week at this stool.
Well, that encourages me to come back.
My name is Jim Toole, and I used to be the owner of the store for 24 years, and I've sold it to 4 people who used to work for me, and they got enough money so they could buy me out. So I just got bought out last month, and I'm here only 18 hours a week at the most in order to make some money so I can still feed myself.
Sankofa is a cafe-style bookstore that just celebrated its 20th anniversary. Its draw is its community atmosphere, which invites patrons to sit, think, and engage.
When they first saw this building, when they saw the space, the director of Sankofa, Haile Garima, he saw the first floor and immediately thought to himself, this could be a bookstore. And so the idea from there was to create a bookstore that housed all these different works by different people of African descent or African Americans. And so, from there, it's simply a way to provide this type of knowledge and this type of artwork to the community at large and globally as well, as a means to preserve that culture and those contributions to culture, and to ensure that future generations have access to it as well.
Because independent bookstores don't have the same resources as national chains, they have to be more in tune with the needs of their customers in curating their collections. There are unique challenges that both stores encountered as a result of the internet age. In a store like Jim's, where his primary draw is books, he has difficulties attracting a young audience.
Well, you're in competition with your generation, which is always looking at one of these machines, wants to read everything on a machine.
So you do need to have more of a presence online, and it sort of goes back into the social media aspect. It's very important for us to connect with people electronically so that they know what we have to offer, and also they know that we can offer to them electronically as well as them dropping into the place physically. So we do online sales. In terms of engaging young people, I've always had my different theories. Social media is probably one of the bigger components with that. As you see the advent of like Instagram and Twitter and increasingly Snapchat and all these other platforms, you find that a lot of young people who may be like-minded as some of the older generation that comes into this space, they may be looking for a place like this, and it's important for us, especially now, to advertise through those mediums in order to let people know, hey, we have all of this stuff. I would still say that a traditional brick and mortar is kind of hard to replace.
But there are other challenges they face as well.
The independent, or even the large Barnes and Nobles that sell new books, the owner sits here and the publishers bring in new books, and if they don't sell, they come in and remove them and put on their shelves another set of new books. A punk like me, who's selling recycled used books, has to go find books. I'm my own wholesaler. The publishers have nothing to do with anymore with these used books. Around to estate sales, yard sales, book auctions, because my greatest source of books are dead people. They don't take their books with them. I don't know if you knew that or not.
I would say it's a battle. It's an uphill battle. You can't have that old-fashioned rustic feel with too much modernity, if you will. So it's a delicate balance.
Sankofa is creating a new model of what an independent bookstore could be in this day and age, while Capitol Hill Books is trying to adapt an older model to a new era.
Just the communal aspect. I really love that there's always kids around. The youth can run around and be free here. If you have children, you can bring them and not have to worry about it. There's no other place like this in the city that has such an amazing collection of knowledge in this time where, you know, being able to hold on to history and culture is really important. So having them in book form, tangible form, is just invaluable.
I still really prefer coming to bookstores because I like physical books better and I like being able to go and discover things. But sometimes it's just way more convenient to have like an ebook that you can carry around. Also, there's things you can get for free on Kindle, and I don't have enough money to turn that down. I still prefer physical books, especially in places like this where they're like slotted into corners and hidden behind each other. Like there's always just something new to find. All the books that come to a used bookstore were like interested somebody or somebody loved them, or there's like it feels much more real than going to like Barnes and Noble or something like that, where it just feels all like very commercial and plastic. I think I just like the atmosphere a little bit better.
Current research in public relations has proposed that successful businesses and corporations today have aligned themselves with a set of values and social concerns which they help to promote. Going forward, the two bookstores have different expectations for the future.
We're going slowly out of business. We're sort of like the old buggy whip trade. You know what that means? Before your time. Before we had automobiles, we used to have buggies pulled by horses. And there used to be guys who made buggy whips. These were whips to make the horse go trotting along. And eventually, when the cars came, those guys who made buggy whips went out of business. I'm going to be the same thing as a buggy whip guy.
So the answer is yes, Amazon's going to put us out of business eventually.
How long do you think?
Maybe not your generation, but probably your kids.
Where this place is going to be 5 years from now, hopefully still here, first of all. But bigger, better, more accessible. Just see ourselves getting bigger and stronger in terms of a business and in terms of an institution, what it means to be that type of an institution. Without engaging the public digitally, we don't have that much of a chance of survival.